Alrighty, folks. So we live in a wonderful country, a country so wonderful that even men can dream of being successful women one day. And that's particularly true with Dylan Mulvaney, who just moves from success to success as a woman. Was apparently a complete failure as a man, but now as a woman is gaining all sorts of fashion contracts, including with Kate Spade. The propagandistic crusade on behalf of the transgender agenda continues apace. It is amazing, again, to see what sort of behavior is excused as okay, considering that it's coming from the sort of trans community, and which behavior is considered not okay. So, for example, you're allowed to basically imply violence as much as you want, so long as you're a member of the victimized community. Here is a trans activist gushing over a book in which J.K. Rowling dies and saying, well, I wish it had only been more gruesome.
And people like J.K. Rowling need to stop, because my people are dying because of her. She is killing us. Oh, but there's one more good thing about this book. J.K. Rowling dies. Yeah, Gretchen had the nerve to kill off the queen of the turfs, and it is glorious. I only wish that scene could have been even more brutal.
That seems like an angry and unpleasant man right there. Meanwhile, our nation's biggest corporations have decided to weigh in favor of this wild left-wing propagandistic effort. So Kate Spade, New York, has a brand new spokesperson. Wait for it. It's Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah, you excited? And it's exciting. A person who has been a woman for 0 days, but claims to have been a woman for 1 year, is now getting mainstream fashion contracts to promote purses and dresses and such. Here is a parody of a woman pretending to be a woman so that actual women will buy products that don't look all that great on a man who pretends to be a woman.
It all started with the first day of spring. I am at Kate Spade, New York to find the perfect spring outfit. Let's go! Kate Spade, New York is a staple in my wardrobe, and I think I absolutely need to have this as my spring bag. The mini bags are in. They're in. Let's go. You know I love pink, and I think the bag will go great with this. Let's try her on.
Let's not.
You can always use another pair of heels, right? Here's the full fit check. I love a puffy sleeve, and I added some jewelry because more is always more. And honestly, I think I'm gonna wear this out of the store. So happy spring. I love ya. I love you, Kate Spade, New York.
You remember that line in As Good As It Gets where Jack Nicholson says that the way that he writes women is he just writes a man without reason or accountability? Remember that time? And how it was a joke then? That's literally how half of the American population now defines the word woman. The word woman is now a man without reason or accountability. That's like man plus crazy equals woman now. That's how far we have to. But again, it's a political cause. And in pursuit of that political cause, all is justified. Invading state capitol buildings, violence, threats of violence, all of it. And again, the implicit threat is if you don't go along with this, then bad things are going to happen. Bad things are going to happen, guys. We have to talk about DailyWire's most trusted privacy partner and a premier sponsor of this show, ExpressVPN. Going online without ExpressVPN, it's a dumb idea. It's like using your smartphone without a protective case. Most of the time, totally fine. Then one time it drops out of your pocket and boom, you broke the screen. Don't do that sort of stuff when it comes to your internet data. That data belongs to you. The best way to protect all of that is by using ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN protects you from hackers, from big tech, from big government. They create a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet so hackers can't steal your sensitive data. It would take a hacker with a supercomputer over 1 billion years to get past ExpressVPN's encryption. I use ExpressVPN on all my devices myself, phones, laptops, even Wi-Fi routers. It's really easy to use. Just fire up that app, you click one button. If you, like me, believe that your online activity is no one's business but your own, get the VPN I trust at expressvpn.com/Ben. Use my exclusive link, expressvpn.com/Ben. Get an extra 3 months for free. That's expressvpn.com/Ben. Again, expressvpn.com/Ben. Get an extra 3 months for free. All this may keep you up at night. And politics is a rough business. And things seem to be getting weirder and stranger and more dangerous. Well, I still need to get my sleep. And this is why I rely on Boll Branch sheets. I got to tell you, I was just on the road, didn't sleep all that great. One reason, I did not have my Boll Branch sheets. Boll Branch sheets are made from the finest 100% organic cotton threads on earth. They feel buttery to the touch. They're super breathable. They're perfect for both cooler and warmer months. Their signature hem sheets were made with threads so luxurious that 4 U.S. presidents have slept in them. Boll Branch sheets actually soften with every wash cycle. They're made without pesticides, formaldehyde, or other harsh chemicals. Best of all, Boll Branch gives you a 30-night risk-free trial with free shipping and returns on all orders, but you're not going to want to return them. I'm not aware of anyone who has. I know lots of people who have Boll Branch. I've never heard any of them talk about returning it. Get a better night's sleep with Boll Branch. Starting now, you get early access to their spring sale. Use code Shapiro for 20% off today at bollandbranch.com. Boll Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com. Promo code Shapiro. Exclusions apply. See site for details. There's a reason that in the Shapiro household, we literally took all of our other sheets and threw them out. Boll Branch is the best on the planet. Bollandbranch.com. Promo code Shapiro. Joe Biden put out a statement on Thursday morning just a couple of days after, again, a trans man shot up a bunch of school kids, saying, it's for the Transgender Day of Visibility. Quote, transgender Americans shape our nation's soul, proudly serving the military, curing deadly diseases, holding elected office, running thriving businesses. Today, too many transgender Americans are still denied rights and freedoms. A wave of discriminatory state laws is targeting trans youth, terrifying families, hurting kids who are not hurting anyone. Well, I can think of some kids who were murdered and weren't hurting anyone. But that doesn't fit your narrative, does it? And again, this ties more broadly into that same exact symptom that we saw with regard to gun control activists taking over buildings. If trans activists take over buildings, that's also okay. So in Kentucky, there was a vote on banning transgender mutilation of children. And the governor had vetoed it, and then the Kentucky legislature passed it over the veto. Well, trans activists took over the Kentucky Capitol, and they trespassed. A bunch of them were arrested. But this was considered not only fine, but good by the media. Here's some of the footage of trans activists at the Kentucky Capitol. That is a dude wearing trans colors and giant horns and looking for all the world sort of like QAnon shaman, but as a hero because, after all, the trans activists in Kentucky then performed a die-in. A die-in is where you lie on the ground, you pretend that you're dead. You want to talk about folks who are absolutely shameless. This would be it. After kids are killed by a trans person for what appear to be political reasons, you are going to do a die-in as though you are under the threat of death from a legislature that just says that you're not allowed to mutilate children. Amazing stuff. The media, of course, buy into this. Benjamin Ryan, who again is the same NBC News pseudo-journalist, and this is the person who's had a raging desire, shall we say, to go after the DailyWire because of our conservatism. He tried to blame the Daily Wire again for this Nashville shooting, saying, quote, Nashville is home to the Daily Wire, where Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh have led an ideological war against trans people. Ideological war against trans people? No, ideological war against a perverse radical gender ideology that says boys can be girls and that kids must be taught this. Their colleague, Michael Knowles, called for transgenderism to be eradicated. This is the larger social context in which the Nashville shooting occurred. Oh, well, I guess the threat is, so the threat always was with trans people. The threat we were told is that if you don't give them what they want, they will commit suicide. If you don't give them what they want, then they'll kill themselves. You have to just pretend that they're members of the opposite sex. Now, I guess the threat has expanded such that if you don't give them what they want, they will commit homicide. And so therefore, you have to actually just give them what they want. The Washington Post is doing the same exact routine, by the way. And the Washington Post put out a headline stating, Nashville shooting exploited by right to escalate anti-trans rhetoric. The pouncing. The pouncing has happened. Quote, the attempts on the right to connect violence to transgender people come even though transgender people are rarely the perpetrators of mass shootings, which are overwhelmingly carried out by cisgender men, according to criminal justice experts. There is a thing called per capita. I'm going to do a per capita examination. There have been 4 mass shootings carried out by people who are gender non-binary or trans in the last couple of years alone, and there are very few gender non-binary or trans people. Per capita might be something worth exploring. What also might be worth exploring is whether you, in fact, are participating in the radicalizing of individuals by claiming that they are under genocidal threat when people simply say that boys are boys and girls are girls. This sort of media narrative was also put forward by MSNBC. So Charlotte Clymer, who is a man who believes that he is a woman, was speaking on MSNBC. What matters here is not just what Charlotte Clymer is saying. What matters here is the chyron. Transgender Americans under siege. Not Christian school kids who are dead. Transgender Americans under siege. But Charlotte Clymer has some words about God and such.
Children are only unsafe at drag shows when a shooter shows up to kill them.
That's right.
That's where the threat is. I would challenge anyone just to get to know trans people. We are a vibrant, diverse community, as diverse as anyone else. I'm from the great state of Texas. I served in the military. I go to church.
Transgender shooting suspects sparked outrage on the right. Is that chyron?
But God made me in her image. God made me transgender. And to see these people so cynically weaponize this and exploit these children's deaths and their teachers' deaths, it breaks my heart. I wonder what those families are thinking right now.
My guess is that what some of those families are probably thinking is it's really screwed up that people like Charlotte Clymer are going on national TV and defending an agenda to push lies about gender to small children in order to, make some sort of excuse for what happened in Nashville? This is a very dangerous game. But of course, the media are fully perpetuating this game because they agree with the agenda. Agenda uber alles for the media. Everything has to be fit into the narrative. And that narrative is increasingly centered on the idea that children they should be subjected to the idea of radical gender ideology, and anyone who stands in the way of that is perpetuating both suicide and now apparently homicide. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show is continuing right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be getting into the mailbag, but to have your question answered, you have to be a member. So become a member, use code Shapiro at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click that link in the description and join us.